Something massive is brewing inside Ferrari, and it might just end the Lewis Hamilton dream before it ever really began. According to new information coming straight from Maranello, the team has already made a controversial internal decision about the 7-time world champion's future. And trust me, it's not what anyone expected when this historic partnership was announced. But before we get to what Ferrari has decided, you need to understand how we got here. How a story that started with hope and history has turned into one of the most uncomfortable dramas Formula One has seen in years. When Hamilton left Mercedes for Ferrari at the start of 2025, the entire motorsport world stopped. It was the transfer of the decade. The greatest driver of the modern era, joining the most iconic team in Formula One. Every headline called it destiny. The Tifosi were ecstatic, parading through Maranello in red and waving British flags alongside the prancing horse. Analysts predicted instant results, at least 3 wins in the first year, maybe even a surprise title fight. The expectation was simple. This was going to be magic. But 20 races later, that fairy tale has completely collapsed. Hamilton has not stepped on a podium once, 0. An entire season without a single top 3 finish. He's 64 points behind his teammate Charles Leclerc, and his best result so far is a lonely 4th place. For a man used to fighting for wins and rewriting records every Sunday, this season has been a slow-motion nightmare that no one, not even his critics, saw coming. Yes, he did win a sprint in China, and for a brief moment it felt like a turning point. But the joy evaporated less than 24 hours later when he was disqualified from the main race for excessive floor wear. A perfect metaphor for how this partnership has gone. Flashes of brilliance swallowed by frustration and chaos. And the problem runs much deeper than just bad luck. The SF25, Ferrari's 2025 car, has been a fundamentally flawed piece of machinery since day one. Chronic ride height problems forced the team to raise the car again and again just to avoid bottoming out, killing its raw speed in the process. Hamilton, known for dragging bad cars to greatness and performing miracles against physics, can't even find a way to tame it. It's fighting him every single corner. Meanwhile, Leclerc, who knows the Ferrari system inside out, has quietly adapted, collecting 7 podiums in the same car. That contrast is painful. But what's even more tense is what's happening behind closed doors. According to sources inside Maranello with direct access to the team, several key figures within Ferrari have privately agreed not to offer Hamilton a contract renewal once his current deal expires. That means the dream of Hamilton winning his 8th world championship in Ferrari Red might already be over, before he's even had a realistic chance to chase it. And the contract itself only adds more drama to the story. His deal, worth an eye-watering $57 million per year, officially runs until the end of 2026. But there's a twist, a special clause that could extend it to 2027. The shocking part? It's completely unilateral. Only Hamilton can trigger it. Ferrari has no power to block or renegotiate. Now imagine the potential fallout. Hamilton could legally force Ferrari to keep him even if the team doesn't want him anymore, creating a toxic, suffocating situation where no one wins. It's a contractual time bomb, and it's ticking loudly. The big question is, would Hamilton even want to stay in a place where he clearly isn't wanted anymore, especially if the results keep sinking and the Italian fans' patience wears thin? Because right now, the mood around him is tense, and the Tifosi, passionate as they are, can turn very quickly from love to hostility when the results dry up. What makes all this even more fascinating is how proactive Hamilton has been during this collapse. He hasn't sat back quietly and accepted failure. He's been fighting, sending detailed technical reports directly to Ferrari management, outlining changes to the car, restructuring suggestions for internal processes, communication improvements between departments, even tweaks to weekend execution. There have been at least 4 major reports from Hamilton's camp this season, the most recent after Singapore, where he openly criticized Ferrari's outdated qualifying routine of sending both cars to the end of the pit lane together, forcing them to sit and lose tire temperature before their laps. Hamilton argued, with data to back him, that it destroyed grip and compromised both cars every single Saturday. It's the behavior of a man who refuses to just drive and collect his paycheck. He wants to fix things. But here's the problem. Ferrari doesn't like being told how to do things, especially not by outsiders, and especially not by a foreign superstar who challenges their sacred traditions. What Hamilton sees as leadership and responsibility, many inside Maranello reportedly see as arrogance and interference. And that might be the real breaking point. If Ferrari truly intends to cut ties with Hamilton early, it's an admission of total failure. A public humiliation that says the most successful team in F1 history couldn't give the greatest driver of the modern era a car good enough to succeed. It would be a devastating blow to Ferrari's image worldwide, a stain on the current management, and proof that their structure still can't accommodate a modern, assertive driver culture. But it's not just Ferrari that would lose face. Hamilton himself would come out bruised, maybe even broken. At 40 years old, his options would be brutally limited. Ending his career with a disappointing stint at Ferrari would leave a permanent scar on his legacy. For a man who built his identity around winning, this kind of failure is more than professional. It's personal. He's said in interviews that he doesn't plan to retire anytime soon. But if the team around him loses faith, can he really keep pushing alone? Could his pride even allow him to keep racing for a team that's quietly preparing to move on without him? That's the kind of crossroads that ends eras in Formula One. Ferrari might be making a catastrophic mistake, discarding a driver like Hamilton while the real issue lies in the car and in the organization's own resistance to evolution, could go down as one of the most short-sighted decisions in modern F1 history. But from Hamilton's side, this might also be the most brutal lesson of his career. That talent and drive aren't always enough to overcome a flawed system. This isn't just a racing story anymore. It's a story about identity, power, ego, and legacy. Ferrari risks confirming that no driver, no matter how great, can survive their internal politics. And Hamilton risks proving that even greatness can be suffocated by tradition. The situation is still unfolding, but make no mistake, this is far from over. Every statement from Ferrari, every radio message, every post-race interview now carries extra weight. Because if this really is the beginning of the end for Hamilton in red, we're witnessing a breakup that could echo for years. One thing's certain, Formula One never stops surprising us. What started as the dream partnership between a legend and an icon might end as one of the biggest disappointments in the sport's history. So what do you think? Is Ferrari right to move on? Or are they throwing away a once-in-a-generation chance to win with the greatest driver of the century? Because if this story keeps heading where it's going, we might be watching the fall of one dream and the rise of another that's ready to take its place.